Yes, just wait for a minute. Settings. Yeah, we are starting out lecture now. In previous session, we discuss about prehistoric part. Then we discuss about evolution part, human evolution. And hi to everybody. There is simple request is there that use this dialog box to ask questions, and I'm trying to answer, but right now I am not able to observe that dialog box. So I will just focus on lecture, and then I will sit in the dialog box. It is just towards right side. All right. So let us start this lecture. So we discussed in yesterday's lecture about evolution, and at that time we discussed about Ramapithecus. Now, the theory we are discussing simultaneously. So, what Western historians are telling and what we are having the concept. Say, for example, in Vedic literature, if you are aware that Earth is suspended in the space, this concept is clearly mentioned. This is at least we can say towards our side if you are going, then also it is towards minimum 3000 years ago that literature was there. Then, according to our knowledge, this our civilization, that Indian civilization, was spread to the great extent in the world in ancient period. But right now, what foreign historians are saying that no, it was restricted to India, and we are going with that approach because we have to study out for academics purpose. So, as I explained, that you have to observe these first three lectures on our channel. They are history 1, history 2, and history 3. You'll find that the newer lectures that you have to observe. Now, what we are going to discuss, the world was divided into two parts before 3000 years ago, that is nomadic world and civilized world. Now, what is the meaning of this civilization? The first part, that civilization that indicates world was the people, they are staying in their own houses. Then they were having certain rules, regulations, maybe possible certain religion, and like that things. That is, we are considering under civilized world. Whereas nomadic world, they were not building out their permanent houses. Yeah, tent-like houses may be there, but not permanent houses. That is their characteristic. And at that time, world was to greater extent nomadic. As we discussed in that lectures, we discuss about certain civilizations. You have to just get idea. In Indian epics, we are getting evidences of this Asur people. Then Mlechchha, Yavan. Time to time, if you are reading, you'll get these types of words. Say, for example, Dasyu, Yavan, Mlechchha, Kirata. Like that, words are used in Vedic, in this epical literature. They literally mean this way. Say, for example, uh, we are talking about Asur. Now, going by our first three lectures, you will come to know that there was civilization practically called as Asur. According to one theory, these people, they were calling them as Asur. Asur is the word of God. They're using that is in terms of God. So these people were there. Then you'll find another word, that is Yavan. Particularly prior to arrival of Greeks, this word is also used. But after arrival of Greeks, this word is used for Greek people. So Yavan may be possible, they say, that corrupted word of Ionian, as these people were calling themselves as Ionian. Then another part is their Mlechchha. The Mlechchha word is indicating Central Asian nomadic tribes. So from epical period, we were in contact with these people. And then the most important thing, the word something like Kirat, particularly the people staying in Himalaya region from ancient period, they were termed as Kirata people. Then that is native of the Himalayan region. Most probably these people were Mongoloid people, So the native of this Himalayan range, they were called as Kirat. Now, this indicate that we were having close contact with all these people, and that's why their references are there. Even you'll get surprised. A word, say for example, I'm taking this story of Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, it is mentioned that Yudhishthir was in contact with one person named as Maya Asura, and then he told Yudhishthir that I am going to build a huge palace that nowhere in India that palace you'll find. It is strange palace I'm going to build. Now this Maya and Asura, these two words, many people refer this that he must be from Mexico, because what the culture was there in Mexico, that was called as Mayan culture. See the word in similarity. And then maybe possible that Mayan culture, that Asur was called as Maya, external person. Now many times this happen that we are calling, or we are not generally, the identification is different. Say for example, those who are coming from Europe area in old days, they were called as white people, but they were distinguished. They were Greeks, then Britishers, Roman people, like that. Now, in our epic also, it is mentioned. They mention about Roman people as harsh speaking Yavanas, Kothor Vani Yavan. So this way they are identifying. So these similarities are there. So we have to find out whether Mayasur was really from Mexico and he built some strange house. That's why Mahabharata happened. Anyway, but this type of references are there. References of China we are getting in Mahabharata and all that. So we are just getting introduction about these various civilizations. And from Indian point, we were aware of these all civilizations. Now we are switching over to the most important part, that the nomenclature. Now the question was asked in UPSC, that question, that who identified India as a Hind amongst the given list. So that we are going to discuss now. Now the thing is that from Indian side, if you observe western part, there was Pars, that area that is called as Persia, as I explained in that lecture number 2. Whereas 2 and 3. Whereas this Persia, from Persian side, if you observe towards Indian side, then Indus is the first river they are going to observe. That is the biggest river. Now, the thing is that there was no distinct boundary line. Usually we are saying black and white. No, there is no black and white. In between black and white, there is grayscale. So similarly here also, the Indian culture and Persian culture was having tremendous similarities as well as dissimilarities. But towards western part of Persia, their fusion is with Semite culture. So like that mixing is always there. Now from Persian side, if you are looking towards eastern side, then Indus, that is river Sindhu. I'm properly speaking in our language that the name of river is Sindhu. The meaning of Sindhu is sea. So that river we consider as huge river, something like a sea. Or whether our ancestors were aware that it was a form of sea only. Is it form of sea? Surprised to know that Indus River was flowing prior to formation of Himalaya. Geographically, today we are aware that prior to formation of Himalaya, this river was flowing. It is we are calling as Trans-Himalayan river. Trans-Himalayan means going beyond Himalaya. The origin of this Indus River is beyond Himalaya, but you are aware, and if you are not, then we'll go through geography lecture. At that time also we are going to discuss, or right now we are having all these lectures on YouTube that you can check, that beyond Himalaya, that means greater Himalaya, there is a fourth range of Himalaya that is called as Kailas range. Towards north of Uttarakhand and Nepal, it is called as Kailas range. In Kashmir, it is called as, now it is Ladakh, not Kashmir. So in Ladakh, it is called as Karakoram range. The division factor is of river Indus. Indus is having origin beyond Kailas mountain. And then it is crossing over Kailas range in Jammu and Kashmir, or today's Ladakh session, and then it is flowing. This indicate that Indus River is having origin in the Tibetan plateau. Surprisingly, that is considered geographically true. There was Tethys, a sea between mainland of Asia and India. The sea was there, that is Tethys, that was come over as in form of Himalaya, and then this Indus River continued to flow. So whether this connectivity was there, our ancestor or not, I don't know. But the name of river is called as Sindhu. Now, from Persian side, if you observe, the Sindhu is the biggest river. Other rivers, as I explained yesterday, Jhelum, Satluj, Ravi, Chenab, Bias. These five rivers, and most probably Saraswati, because Saraswati is explained in Indus Valley civilization again and again. And now there are evidences that yes, that river was flowing. So anyway, so these rivers, so main Sindhu is the word, whereas Persian people were not able to pronounce so word sometime. I'm saying, not always, sometime. Say, for example, when they are taking their name of their nation, they are pronouncing as Pars. So it's pronounced. But now when they are pronouncing Sindhu, they are pronounced as Hindu. The sa word is corrupted as ha. This is usually happening when Sanskrit to Prakrit words are going. The sa is corrupted as ha. Va is corrupted as b. B. So like that, letters are changing out. Ya is corrupted as j. So like that, changes of letters. So Sindhu is considered as Hindu, and the people staying in that territory were called as Hindu. If you are going with that same concept, then literally Pakistani should be called as Hindu. Today, Chinese people, Southeast Chinese people should be called as Hindu because Sindhu is flowing through that area, and now it is flowing in parts of Ladakh. Anyway, so this is the origin of word Hindu, according to one theory. I'm saying now, as this word is considered as Hindu, Greeks reformed it. Now, old days, these concepts were there that whatever the words are there, they were changing out the word. Say, for example, that Sindhu, it changed as Hindu. Now, Hindu, it changed as Indus by Greeks. If you are going through names of Indian people, you'll come to know. Say, for example, there was king named as Ambhi, but Sikandar started calling him as Ambis. Right now, I told Sikandar started calling him as Ambis. But what is his original name? Whether it was Sikandar or Alexander. But because Persian people start calling him Sikandar, we also pronounce the word as Sikandar. And so that is the thing. Now, surprisingly, these things are there that Persian people not called him as Hikandar, they called him as Sikandar. So sometimes they are pronouncing so. I don't know grammar rule when we have to pronounce so or ho. Anyway, so this way, the area was called as Indus. And where Indus flows, that is India. So this way, our nation got our name as India. Keep in mind, it is not that some WhatsApp messages are there. Independent nation got in August like that. So if that is the thing, then why Britishers established British East India Company, French established French East India Company, Dutch established East India Company. So why that India word was there in 1600, 1700 like that? Okay, so India word was there in European literature from Greek invasion onwards. Greeks identified this territory as India. The original word is Sindhu, corrupted in Persian as Hindu, that is corrupted in Greeks as Indus, and where Indus flows, that is India. So just I told that Ambhi was name of king called as Ambis. Puru was name of king called as Porus. Pars was name of nation called as Persia. So like that, Greeks corrupted various words. They corrupted like that. Now, from Greeks, the word is corrupted as India, but Persians continued to call this as Hindu. And where that Hindu river is flowing, that is Hind. So the first should be Persians to identify our territory as Hind. But later on, Arabs were under a terrific influence of Persian culture. They also identified this territory as Hind. But according to definition of Arab, the area was restricted initially only in the basin of River Indus. That's why in latter phase, When Muhammad bin Qasim invaded uh, Sindh territory, he reported, I conquered Hind. Entire Hind I conquered. Many people are cross-checking this way that Muhammad bin Qasim was not aware the greatness of India, how it is. And therefore, by conquering a small corner of India, he started claiming that he conquered Hind. But the real thing is that, according to their concept, the Hind means region from which river Indus flows. So if I'm considering that, then it's all right. So this way we are having name that river Sindhu, and that's why from river Sindhu this word Hindu is there. From river Sindhu the word Indus is there, and India is there. So though you are calling India, that is identifying river Indus only. Yeah, Kamal Kumar, you are right. Uh, Darius is first invader, but he didn't identify this river as Indus. They were at that time they were calling as Hindu only. Another thing is that Darius is not original name of king. It may be Dhairyesh, Daryush. Various names are identified. If you are aware with Zoroastrian culture, say we are there in Mumbai, so we are in close contact with many Parsi people. Parsi dairy farms are there, and they are having name as Daryush. They consider this as Daryush, which is corrupted in Greek language as Darius, because Persia was ruled by Persia was ruled by Greeks for many centuries later on. All right, thanks. So there is cultural exchange always when invaders are arriving. Certain culture they are taking from, say for example, Persians invaded India, so they acquired certain things from India, whereas we acquired certain things from them. For example, Kharoshtri script we acquire from Persian people. All right, we will discuss in later phase about that. Chalo. So we are focusing again on that, the name of India. According to another concept, that Indian people in ancient period were considering moon as the sacred one. Today also we are aware that our calendar is also based on sun and moon, not only on moon, but moon as well as sun. But moon is considered as very important. You are aware that various festivals in India, in Hindu culture, they are depending upon phases of moon. And many time you are aware that by observing moon only you have to carry out certain festival. So that is in Indian culture I am telling. So uh, that moon is considered as sacred. That is in Sanskrit having various name. For example, Chandra. If you are finding out, you'll find that in ancient period, various people were considering suffix or prefix as Chandra. Say for example, I am not saying Lord Ram. I should say Prabhu Ramachandra. So that Chandra word, Chandra suffix is added to many Indian words. Or say the first known emperor in India, Chandragupta. So again, prefix they are adding at Chandra. So like that, either first one or last one Chandra word, we are considering Chandra as important thing. And obviously, this is the second brightest object in the night sky. In the sky. And in night sky, it is the brightest object. So that is important. In Sanskrit, Chandra is called as Indu. One of the word is Indu. And from that, may be possible the word corrupted as Hindu. So like that, various theories are there. For more detail, I will recommend you to go by a book that is called as Six Glorious Epoch by V.D. Savarkar. Fantastic book is there. On savarkarsmarak.com, you will get this copy for free download. PDF format is there, free download is there. So observe that part. In initial part only, he explained how the word origin. So various theories are there. Out of that, one theory is that from river Sindhu, our name is there. Another theory is that from Hindu, this word is corrupted as Hindu. Anyway, so this is the way the name. Now, in ancient period, whether we were going outside or they were invading us, that was something different. Again, whether we were considering Persia as outside India or it was considered as part of India, this is also biggest question. The thing is that we are considering this entire territory as Aryavarta. Even when we are talking about Mahajanapada, certain Mahajanapada were reported in India, they were outside India. Say, for example, the Gandhara. You are aware, today's northwest frontier region, that is of Pakistan, where Peshawar is there, Takshashila is there, that is in northwest part of Pakistan. Now, in due course of history, it was part of Afghanistan. Britishers occupied that territory of Afghanistan and considered under northwest frontier region. But in ancient period, this was called as Gandhara. Beyond Gandhara, there was territory called as Balhik. Now, our literature, Sanskrit literature, identify that as Balhik, whereas from Persian literature, that is identified as Balkh. So, Balhik, Balkh. Whereas Greeks identified that territory as Bactria, that is towards western part of Gandhara, means in Afghanistan, towards eastern part of Persia and western part of Afghanistan. But to surprise to know that Kazakhstan territory or that Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, this part, we are usually calling this as Central Asia, that was identified as Uttar Kuru. Say, Kurus most probably were from Delhi or north part of Uttar Pradesh. Whereas uh, these Uttara Kuru were not at all in India. These Uttara Kuru were there in Kazakhstan or south part of Kazakhstan, not part of Turkmenistan and all that Central Asian part. So like that, various territories were identified in different way from India and from outside world. Now same, when any invader used to uh, yeah, it is corrupted word. It is Kandhar. That is, we are calling that as most probably corrupted as Gandhar. Even Ghazni, that is also there. That is also called as Gajani. Sanskrit word is there, Gajani, where elephants are there. That is Gajni. So you can find out, and the biggest evidence you can find out, the biggest mountain in Afghanistan is having name as Hindu Kush, and all that we are going to discuss. Thanks for information, Saurabh. Now, we are now considering again that areas we are focusing on. So this way we were identifying. Now, if you are looking carefully, north part of Himalaya is protected by, north part of India is protected by Himalayan ranges. And it was very difficult at that time to cross out these Himalayan ranges. Western part of India, that is actually Pakistan, I have to say, that must be controlled, covered by also, that was also covered by Himalayan ranges, but different names are there. Say, for example, Kirthar, Suleiman, Hindu Kush, these are names of Himalayan ranges over there. They are also very difficult to cross, but not as difficult as main part of Himalaya. And they were having certain passes. Out of that, two important passes we have to discuss. One is Bolan Pass, that is in today's Baluchistan, and other is Khyber Pass. You are aware that is in northwest frontier region. From Peshawar onwards, you can go towards Afghanistan. We have to cross this Khyber Pass, and various invaders came to India via Khyber Pass. So this way, they entered via Khyber Pass. So uh, my topic was something different. So we were considering that entire Indian territory only, whereas cultural differences were obviously there. Right now, also in India, you can go from Maharashtra to Gujarat. You'll find similarities in culture as well as differences in culture. If you are switching from Gujarat to Rajasthan, you'll find similarities in culture as well as differences in culture. Same way, you cross one state to another, you'll find that two states, now North Indian states, say for example, we are talking of UP and Bihar, they were having similarities, but they were having dissimilarities also. No doubt, geographical conditions are extremely same, everything is same, but still cultural differences are taking place in spite of all geographical similarities are there. So reasons are various. We are going to discuss after that. So this way, worldwide, various cultures were there. They were identified by different names. Now, what our problem was there? Any invader was coming out. That invader was coming out either through Bolan Pass or through Khyber Pass. But both passes were opening out from Afghanistan. And so we were considering our invaders from Afghanistan territory. Actually, they were not Afghan. They were using this Afghanistan as a step. and from that they were entering into India. But from Indian side, if you look, we will finding that that is enemies coming towards Afghanistan side. Now, many time ancient people, those we were considering as scholar, but they were also not having that knowledge. Say, for example, we came across one Sanskrit shlok where that poet mentioned that why sun is traveling towards north side and again towards south side, again towards north side, may be possible to change his horses of his chariot. So he is traveling towards northern side. Surprise. According to concept of poet, to the north side of India, there is best place to get horses. And that's why sun is traveling towards north side. Now, practically, you are aware that towards north side, yeah, in Mongolia they are there, but maximum horses, best horses we are calling, they are Arabian horses, as well as Turkey horses. Turkestan is towards northwestern side of India, not towards north side, but they assume that it is towards north side. So, like that, concepts are there. So, we have to consider all these things, and we have to discuss whatever we are going to discuss. That is on basis. This is just all we are making introductory lectures first. So, these all we are getting just familiar with the culture. I am recommending again that first observe video lecture number 1 to 3 of this our channel. Then big history videos are there, some 13-hour 17-hour videos are there. Observe that big history video. You'll find playlist on our channel, that is big videos. In that you'll find this big history. So observe that episodes, and then we can discuss these classes. We are intended in discussion. So if you are having some questions, you can ask here. I am also trying getting familiar with this technique. I'm now allowing you to ask questions. Some questions were asked already, but if you want to ask some questions, you can ask directly here, or otherwise I'm going to stop. We are meeting out tomorrow again. Sorry, tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow will be holiday. So my next lecture will be on Monday on same timing, 10 o'clock. Our lecture will be there. Thanks.